When he assumed the starting position in Virginia, what were your expectations? What did you think you were going to get out of a freshman quarterback?
Well, I hoped he'd make good decisions. That's really the number one thing, that he would go in there and just not hurt us or hurt himself when he went out there and played, and really felt like he would do that. I didn't know what type of production he would have, but felt like he would let us go out there and try to play great defense. We could run the ball, we could throw it, hopefully effectively, but not put ourselves in bad situations with turnovers or, just mistakes, delay of games, those type of things. So go operate. And he did that in that game. And then we saw that he threw the ball fairly well and had a pretty good performance for his first start. From that point, the expectations changed. And, you wanted to see the same things happen, but, we could go win games with Brett out there throwing the football, we felt like, after that. And, to some degree, a young guy, once you get a chance to see him truly play and start, you cut him loose and let him go figure it out, to some degree by playing. And you make sure that you're still putting together a plan that you understand as a true freshman before you just take the training wheels off completely. You try to be balanced, let your running game and your defense go out there and play around him. But he really took that, and like I said, took his opportunity, made the most of it, made plays, and really had a solid season from that standpoint.
With Thomas and Brett having such great years, it's almost like McNichols' years have gone unnoticed a little bit by some. Talk about his development as a running back and how he's more of a true back there for you guys, and what you expect out of him in the future.
Well, he hasn't gone unnoticed, certainly, and I know that in our league and people that played against him certainly noticed his style and his presence on the field. Assuming the starting role and playing as the featured back this year, I thought he did a good job. And we ran the ball more effectively late in the season. I thought, kind of some of the ways we want to run the ball. But as far as his consistency, he did a very good job, made plays for us. And, the one thing, there's plenty, like all these guys, and the awards are great. We really look at what matters. We watch the tape, and we watch how we practice. We watch what we're capable of doing, and that really becomes our standard more than anything else. Not to compare ourselves to anyone else, but what we're capable of doing. And you know what, hey, he did some things number-wise and production-wise that you can look at statistically and go, that's very good. And I still think he has a long ways to go when it comes to how physical and what type of running team we want to be. He knows that. We all know that. And that goes for everybody, on our team, about being more physical and playing more dominant. But that's all things we have to continue to work on. But very, I like the way he's prepared this year. I like, he's fought through some injuries and being banged up. When you carry the ball that many times, and that's going to happen. And this has been a great year for him, to learn from as well. And hopefully that shows up moving into the bowl game, where he's come throughout this entire season.
Last couple of years, depth at running back, wide receiver, defensive back has been a little bit of an issue for you guys. I know you addressed somewhat recruiting last year with the DBs, but I wonder, as you go into this recruiting class, how you feel about kind of the depth at those skill spots and what you guys need to get done there going forward.
Yeah, we definitely got to grow the depth, and we got to grow the talent in those areas too. We're trying to. You'd like to have 3 deep in every position that could go out there and play. You're looking to get that. We did address some of that in the DB room this last year. Still addressing that. At running back, wide receiver, and we need more than just 1 or 2 guys that can play. We need to have guys that can come in here and help us. Hopefully we get that. We need guys that are here now that played in some roles to step up and be better players, even going into this bowl game and through these practices, and then into spring and so on. So, yeah, we've had some guys put some numbers up on both sides. Darian on the defensive side, Dante, when those 2 guys were playing together and healthy, that was a fun little duo out there, and both guys got banged up this season. But really it comes down to production, and we need more of that across the board with this team. And yes, when it comes to recruiting, are we trying to address that? We are, but these guys also have to come in and be productive players as well. Because we need depth and we need guys that you can go out there and produce. And so this recruiting class and this last year's, the guys that are redshirting, you guys don't know much about right now. We've seen those guys are doing a very good job. And we're excited to cut these guys loose in these bowl practices and then let them obviously have their opportunity going into spring to compete for starting roles. And we'll do that. We'll start back over, and these guys will have chances to go out there and put themselves in starting positions. So every year in recruiting, you're trying to get guys to come in here and help you. And we definitely need that. We don't have enough right now. And so, we're addressing it as we go.
Are bowl practices any different than practices during the regular season, and with a team that you probably didn't check in much under in the regular season? Do you reach out help from other coaches in the MAC or other contacts you have?
Not really, as far as that goes. I mean, we can watch the tape, and you need to study the film. That's what you're going to get. What other coaches can tell you about them. We really don't do that. We just try to figure out our opponent ourselves and what we want to do and how we're going to go attack, what they're going to try to do against us. And you're going to have their entire season to watch, so we'll go through every single game. Bowl practices, not much different than in the season as far as structure. You just have more time. It's a little bit like fall camp as you're preparing for that first game. It becomes more like that. I think the excitement about when you actually get to the bowl site, you have some more activities, that starts to grow and make it a little bit like the first game. So it's almost like starting over when you get into these bowl practices and you're preparing for that one game, you're preparing for that great start at the beginning of the year. And you have a little bit of fun along the way too, because you're trying to, just like in fall camp, you have some downtime, so you're trying to enjoy it and keep these guys motivated, during the off time and focused, going into the next practice or whatever you're doing the next day, so you're prepared to go out there and play.
I think you mentioned after the game against San Jose, Ben Weaver with an interception, 3 straight games. Just wondering what you've seen out of him to all of a sudden he's an interception machine. And then a different topic, you talk a little bit about the 3 scout team players of the year and what you guys saw from those guys that made you single them out.
Yeah, Ben, he's, I don't know, the three interceptions in a row there. To me, I do know, anytime you put yourself in a position, you got to actually make the play. That's one thing. That's a credit to him. He's made the plays, and he prepares very well to do that. I think his preparation and that group in particular, those guys put themselves in position to make plays. And I really think, just talking to him, his focus, Ben's a guy to me that not just on the football field, but has gotten himself organized, off the field with the classroom, what he wants to do, how he's going about his business. I just think all that stuff shows up when you're taking care of things on the field, off the field, in the classroom the right way. Things show up and production shows up, and he's a guy that has done that the last few games.
Scouters.
Scouters, yeah. So Ryan Wolpen on the offensive side. You go back to the San Jose State game. He's a scouter, but he made plays for us. We've increased his role because of what he's done on the scout team, and I think he's a guy for us in the future that we can continue to keep involving in what we're doing. He's a downhill guy. He'll go in there. He'll run hard, and he showed that in that 3rd down run. And so I think we just got to keep finding ways to get him on the football field, special teams, offensively, if he continues to keep doing what he's been doing in practice. Marquise Hendricks is a guy, linebacker, that really felt like this year in particular really started getting a very good feel for what he's doing at that position and giving us a great look on the defensive side. And still, you're going off of cards and all that, but here's a guy that we feel like has a lot of potential moving forward. And once he gets into our system, once he gets a chance in spring to really start running what we're doing, not only from a special team standpoint, I believe you're going to see him out there, but defensively as well, getting him in the mix with a good group of linebackers. And so I think he's got a great group around him to learn from, who have experience, smart guys, and Coach Avalos does a great job with them. And then scout team,
Is Evan Tyler?
Evan Tyler. Yeah, Evan's a long guy, safety, that, and you're talking about special teams. Let me say this. You're a special teams scouter of the year. There's a lot of guys that could really be in that position because everybody's involved in special teams. It's not like you have a set group on the special teams side. So it's really, if you're not out there, you should be. And Evan, that's probably the one thing that stood out. He was on everything. He got a little bit banged up during the year, but I think he's a guy that moving forward, he's going to get bigger, going to get stronger. He's very smart. He did a great job on defense, scout-wise. And, from the special team standpoint, with these young guys, you're kind of looking at that. That's going to be opportunities for them to really get out there and start on something. And his production, don't know where he'll start or what position exactly he'll play because that's not set yet, but he's going to do something on special teams early on, and hopefully, as he grows on the defensive side as well.
Two questions. I was wondering, one, this is the time of year where coaches are leaving for whatever reason, new jobs, that kind of thing, getting let go. I was wondering if you're anticipating any changes to the full-time coaching staff for next year. And also, 8-4, when you just look at the regular season as a whole, knowing the expectations here and stuff, how do you kind of look at where you guys are at, what you did in the regular season?
Yeah, coaches, no. I have no idea on that. I know there's a lot of change and a lot of things happening right now. That's been a talk, obviously should be, with where guys are going and the type of jobs that have been open. But I'll say that this is a great place, and I think our coaches know that. This is a great opportunity to be on this staff and to work with great student athletes and to live in a great place. And so, like anything else, if there's better opportunities, that's for every person, every staff member and family to decide. But I know that this is a place where a lot of people would want to be as well. And I know our guy, and I would say that for our staff. I know they're very happy to be here and want to continue to see this place grow and keep finding ways to win and be in championship games. As far as the season, don't have all the time right now to put everything into words, but obviously we didn't put ourselves in the position ultimately that we wanted to be at the start of the year. We wanted to be in that championship game. There's reasons why and things that we have to find ways to improve and find guys to be in certain positions. So as a staff, it starts with me. We've got to improve our program overall. We've got to improve what we're doing on the offense, defense, special teams, what we're doing within our units, and then player-wise as well. And that's all going to happen, moving forward, all right, in this off season. But we're not done yet, and that's really we haven't finished this season. You talk about 8-4, we have one more game. And that's really the main focus. And what we've learned from this year, I think you always have to go back to that. And it applies in life, but, we'll put it into football terms here. What'd you learn, when you go back? And every unit, there's a lot. Every coach, there's a lot. Myself, papers full of information, which is great. And we're going to have to apply the main things going into this bowl game and see where we end up when it's all said and done. And then from there, that gives us the next step moving forward when these seniors that have a chance to win their 40th game, when they're no longer with us, because we want to do that. We want to springboard these guys or send these guys out on a high note. We want to springboard ourselves into the off season with the guys coming back. That's the main focus. And then from there, we obviously have our ideas of where we need to go and what direction. So when the bowl game's over, I'll be able to answer that question for you about this entire season, because then that's when it's going to be put to bed and we're actually moving on to the next.
All right, guys.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.